The end goal here is to create a perfectly cohesive 9 by 13 dish containing exactly 5 creamy chicken enchiladas. To get there, we follow 3 core phases. First, we construct the spiced filling. Second, we engineer the physical roll. Third, we execute the final bake. You will need 2 specific pieces of hardware to execute this protocol: a standard 9 by 13-inch glass baking dish and an instant read thermometer to verify our protein. The materials are broken into 3 distinct groups. You need raw proteins, specifically chicken breasts, dairy-based binders, like butter and cheddar cheese, and the specific dry spice packets that establish our baseline flavor profile. The execution here doesn't require advanced culinary techniques. The process focuses on layering the seasonings at specific intervals to build the flavor profile of the filling. Step 1 is thermal processing. Place 2 pounds of raw chicken breasts into a large pot and add enough water to submerge them completely. Then bring the water to a steady boil. Once boiling, reduce the heat to medium-low. Cover the pot and let it simmer for exactly 10 minutes. Ensure the liquid covers the protein entirely throughout this step. This diagram illustrates the critical safety threshold we must verify. Use your thermometer to ensure the internal temperature of the thickest piece reaches exactly 165 degrees Fahrenheit, or 74 degrees Celsius, before proceeding. Remove the chicken from the pot and let it cool. Once it's safe to handle, use 2 forks to mechanically pull the solid protein apart, breaking it down into fine strands for the filling. Breaking down raw protein is foundational, but if you are operating under strict time constraints, you can skip this thermal processing phase. Substituting a pre-cooked rotisserie chicken yields the exact same structural integrity and saves you the initial 20 minutes. Now we build the base flavor profile. Melt 1 tablespoon of butter in a skillet over medium heat, then drop in 1 fully chopped white onion. Cook and stir the onions for about 5 minutes. You are looking for a specific visual indicator, a cellular shift where the pieces transition from opaque white to fully translucent. With the onions ready, begin the primary mass integration. Add your shredded chicken, 1 cup of water, and a 4-ounce can of drained green chilies, along with a package of mild taco seasoning and exactly half of your chopped green onions. Let this mixture simmer for 10 minutes. This primary reduction phase is necessary to forcefully bind the dry spices into the protein strands. Next, we introduce the acid and secondary aromatics. Stir in 1 teaspoon of lime juice, along with a half teaspoon each of onion powder and garlic powder. Initiate a secondary simmer for another 10 minutes to lock in and stabilize these newly introduced flavor compounds. This 2-part reduction allows the bulk spices to integrate during the first simmer, while the secondary aromatics are added later to maintain their profile. This sequence ensures that the seasoning is distributed throughout the meat strands. Before assembly begins, establish the ambient cooking environment by preheating your oven to 350 degrees Fahrenheit. This diagram illustrates the creation of our primary binding agent, referred to in the recipe as the soup mixture. Combine a 10.5-ounce can of condensed cream of chicken soup with a 1/4 teaspoon of chili powder. Next, we divide the agent. Exactly 1 cup is diverted directly into the skillet to bind the chicken mixture, while the remaining volume is spread evenly across the bottom of your 9 by 13 baking dish. This schematic shows the precise payload distribution for each of our 5 12-inch tortillas. Deposit exactly 1/5 of the meat mixture down the central axis, topped with about 5 tablespoons of cheddar cheese, so the flour shell remains intact when rolled. Roll the tortillas tightly around the filling to create tension, then place each rolled tortilla firmly into the baking dish with the seam downward. Strictly adhering to these payload ratios and enforcing a seam side down placement creates mechanical pressure against the bottom of the dish. This prevents the tortillas from unrolling or spilling their internal contents during the bake. We finish the assembly by layering the exterior toppings in a strict sequence. Pour a 10-ounce can of enchilada sauce evenly over the top, followed by a thorough coating of the remaining cheddar cheese, the rest of your green onions, and a drained can of sliced black olives. Place the dish into the preheated oven for exactly 25 minutes to properly meld these disparate elements together. Look for these specific visual indicators to verify the reaction is complete: a fully melted layer of cheese across the center, and a dark red sauce vigorously bubbling along the outer edges. Once you establish this baseline, you can introduce strategic variations for future iterations. Swapping in hot taco seasoning or introducing diced jalapenos to the filling will intentionally escalate the dish's heat index. By following these protocols for temperature verification, flavor layering, and assembly, the result is a structured and consistently seasoned meal. It is now ready to be plated and served alongside traditional sides, like Mexican rice.